So, what is a language? A language is a structural system of communication used by humans that consists of grammar, vocabulary, and symbols. To put it simply, a bunch of random words are separated into groups with their own stuff. And there are a lot of examples of other languages. I mean, English is an example. I speak it right now. It's the probably one of the most commonly spoken languages in the entire planet. Now, we're just gonna do some. I'm just gonna answer some questions on stuff about our topic for tonight. Language. There are three main. Uh, there are three main status of languages. I don't know if there are three or many more, but that's how I see it. Living, endangered, or extinct. I mean, and extinct. But there's also dead languages. Yeah. Which is also the same as extinct. So let me just add a dash over here. And okay. Now let's first start off with the living languages, languages that are still spoken today and stuff. Examples are English, German. Yeah. These two are examples of languages that are still spoken today and languages that still exist. Yes. English and German. Both of these are from the same language family or the same branch of a language family. The language family is Indo-European and the branch is the West Germanic branch of Indo-European. That's why these two languages have a lot of words that sound similar. Like the English was and the German was. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it or was, since I think in German they pronounce the W as the V. So yeah. Excuse me, I burped. Now the English word was is used to refer to something that already happened, so past tense. While the German word was is the English equivalent to what. So what in German is was or was. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm not a speaker of German. Kinda. But yeah. Let's get my own erasers over here. So these two examples, so these two languages are examples of living languages. Let's go to the endangered languages. So what are endangered languages? Well, I mean, it's self-explanatory. Endangered means close to extinction or near extinction or almost extinction or maybe almost dying. Examples of these are, hold on, I'm just gonna do some research. Examples of endangered languages are the language Ainu, which is a native language to Japan or an indigenous language of the country Japan. Now, Ainu is considered an endangered languages because it actually is. Duh. And why? It's because they faced a lot of pressure back then. Like, the Ainu ethnic group is the native ethnic group of Japan before the common Japanese people, the Yamato, went to Japan. So yeah, these people, the Ainu people, were the first ones to go to Japan. They have the ancestry of the Jomon people, and the Jomon people are the first people or the first settlers of Japan before the Yamato. The Ainu language is unique and distinct from Japanese. And back then, they did not have a writing system because they preferred to spread their language through generations by talking. But now they have their own writing system, but it's the Japanese katakana script. Kata. The Ainu language has their writing script, and it's the Japanese katakana script. This is how they spell it in katakana. And yes, it's an endangered languages with a few speakers of about 2,000 to 3,000 or 100. Let me just do my research again. So yes, it's an endangered language because it only has two native speakers left. And if this language isn't preserved, then it will go extinct or dead. Now, another example of a endangered language are, well, native languages. But let's go to the... No, I'm just gonna do some more research. Now, another example of an endangered language is the Celtic language Cornish. Cornish. It's a Celtic language in the UK, and it was once classified as extinct until someone revived it, and I think a lot of people are speaking again. Now, there was only one native speaker left, and she died. But I think there are many more speakers speaking this language, Cornish, since it since it was revived. Now, there's another language that's also endangered, and it's Wakchumni. Yes, the name might sound weird, but it's a Native American language. So yes, Wakchumni is an endangered language, and it has a few speakers. It was almost led to extinction until one woman named Mary Wilcox, this is how her name is spelled, until a woman named Mary Wilcox revived it by making her own dictionary of the Wakchumni language, and she managed to preserve it because since her entire family spoke English, but then they taught their children how to speak Wakchumni now. So yes, that's another example of endangered language. Since we're done with that topic, let's go to extinct or dead languages. Languages with no native speakers or with no speakers at all. Let's go to another example of extinct or dead language, and that is Elamite. Elamite. Elamite is a extinct language from the ancient civilization of Elam. Hence the name Elamite, because it comes from the land of Elam. Elam, I don't know, my accent is kind of strange. And another example is, well, Latin, I guess? Well, you know what, I don't know if Latin is a endangered language, but you know what, I'm just gonna do research while doing a presentation. Hey, Latin is one of them. Latin is technically considered, according to Google, it's technically considered to be a dead language because they no longer have any native speakers, I think. And what is Latin? Well, y'all already know what's Latin. Latin is the language of the glorious Roman Empire. I may be glazing the Roman Empire for tonight, but come on. A certain comic artist made me adore it, and a Minecraft YouTuber made me adore it as well. I'm not telling their names, but I'm giving credit to them. I'm not telling their names because I don't want y'all to be curious and maybe search them, just for safety measures. But yes, Latin is considered a dead language with no longer any numbers of native speakers or no native speakers left. So yeah, Latin's such a cool language, isn't it? We even use the alphabet. Now let's talk about language families. Language families. Now, what are language families? Well, think of a family, and what comes before that current family, a family before. So basically, it's like the family where that language came from, because that's how families are. I come from my family. Yes. Now, language families are quite unique because they are also languages. Now, let's talk about the Proto Indo European language family. Because, we speak English and stuff. We'll just erase the extinct or dead. Okay. Now, Proto Indo European. Proto Indo European is the language family of the well known languages that we speak today, like English. And yeah, Proto Indo European has a lot of branches. Let's talk about the West Germanic one. West Germanic. Oh, jeez, I almost wrote the R as M. Many mistakes today or tonight in this video. Now, the West Germanic branch consists of many languages that are well known today, like English and German. These two languages both came from the Proto Indo European language family, specifically the West Germanic branch. And yes, you might notice there are some similar words to English and German, like was. Oh, yeah, I did mention that already, right? But yeah, these two are from the same language family, the same branch of the language family. Now let's go move on. Now let's go move on to the Romance languages. Latin, to be specific. Romance languages. Now the Romance languages are a branch of the Proto-Indo-European language family, and there are examples of it. Of course, you might know these examples because the languages from the Romance languages branch of the Proto-Indo-European language family are Spanish, Italian, and French. These three examples are from these three languages are examples of Romance languages from the Proto-Indo-European language family, and they evolved from Latin and have some borrowed words from Latin. I'm sorry. Of course, English also has some, but when I was a child, I always thought Spanish and Latin were the same thing, but I guess they're not. My back is itchy. Yeah. So yeah, these three languages are examples of the Romance languages branch of the Proto-Indo-European family, and there are a lot of similarities between them as well. Like in Spanish, we have we have taza. You know what? I'm just gonna grab my phone at this point. I don't know any words that they have in common, but I did hear that Spanish and Italian they do sound similar. Some words sound similar and stuff, but yeah, they're two different languages, not a dialect, because a dialect is a regional way of speaking that language. So yeah, let me just do some stuff real quick. Okay, now I did some research, and there are similarities between Spanish and Italian. Like, as if they almost sound the same, but they're not. Because there's some opposite words, like in hello in Spanish is hola, and hello in Italian is ciao. But there are some similarities between these two, And the Spanish word casa and the Italian word casa, they're the same thing. The same meaning from two of these languages. Now, I don't know about French, but I do love the French languages and some other people too because they think it's a very sexy language with a sexy accent. Well, isn't that amazing? Now, let's cut to the chase and let's talk about Asian languages. Because, yeah, basically, because I'm Asian, I'm from the Philippines. Now, since we're done talking about the European language family, let's talk about the Asian. First, let's do Austronesian. Austronesian. The Austronesian language family is very much, very much interesting, because you know almost all languages of the Austronesian language family literally have one word that's literally the same. One word that sounds completely the same to almost every Austronesian language. And that is lima, which means number five. Isn't that ironic? I don't know why I'm laughing even though this video already has a lot of mistakes. Now, examples of Austronesian languages are Filipino, Malay, and Indonesian. Of course, Austronesian languages are not only from Asia, but I'm pointing out these three since I'm Southeast Asian. And when you look at that, I did the Mafilindo but incorrectly because Malaysia is supposed to be up here, Philippines is gonna be in the middle, and Indonesia is supposed to be on the bottom. So half correct, 2 out of 3 correct for this one. Now let's cut to the chase of that. So these three languages are of course examples of Austronesian languages. And yes, there are very much a lot of similarities between these languages. Because why? Well, it's Austronesian. Of course, we have a lot of similar words. And of course, the example is lima. But not only that, because despite these three, Philippines, Indonesia, and Malaysia have a lot of languages and are all Austronesian, I think. Probably not, but yeah. Because not only is there one, but about 100. I think Indonesia has about 700 to 800 plus of languages, like Sudanese, Batak Karo, Batak Simalungan. Is that how you pronounce it? I'm not sure. But yeah, Sudanese, Javanese, and yeah, those are languages from Indonesia. While in the Philippines, there's Tagalog, the main one. It's the literally main language of the Philippines. And Bisaya. Mind you, if they tell you that Bisaya is a dialect, it is not. The difference between a language and a dialect is a language is different from a dialect, and you know what? I can't really define it, but a dialect is the regional speaking of that language. That means it's still the same language, but with only different terms. Like example, in Bisaya, here we sit in Bisaya here, the market is palengke, but in another dialect, it's mercado. Yeah, that's basically it. But palengke also means market in Tagalog as well. And in Malay, well, of course, they have Malay. Well, I'm gonna do some more research about this. Okay, so other languages in Malay is, of course, Malay and Iban. Iban is a language spoken by the Iban people of Malaysia, and yes, that's some languages that are not only the main languages of these countries, but also a lot. And yeah, there are countries that do not have a singular language or singular official language, and they don't even have a mother tongue. Like Singapore, for example, they do not have their own language. Like, no, they don't have their own mother tongue. They instead have the languages from other nations. Chinese from China, Tamil, Tamil or Tamil from India, Malay from Malaysia, and of course, English. And why is that? Why does Singapore, a very amazing country, the one of the most richest countries in the world, have these foreign languages and don't have a mother tongue? Well, that's because Lee Kuan Yew, the first prime minister. I don't know if he's the first prime minister of Singapore, but Lee Kuan Yew, the founding father of Singapore, passed a law where the language of Singapore, or the official language of Singapore, is Chinese, Tamil, Malay, and English. Of course, the children of these specific ethnic groups, or people from these specific ethnic groups, must learn their mother tongue, Chinese, Tamil, and Malay, but must also learn English to unify the entire country. And of course, there's a dialect of English in Singapore that is widely spoken, and that is Singlish. Singaporean English, which is literally just the languages, maybe some of these languages, mixed with English. And yeah, the Singaporean accent is actually quite interesting, but I'm not gonna do that to avoid stereotypes. And also, another reason why they have this is because Singapore has a lot of different ethnic groups from within. Because yeah, back in the day, Singapore used to be a trading port for the British, and it led some Malays, Chinese, and Indians to the island. But yeah, they also have this. They also have four official languages, so that there's no any fighting between these ethnic groups. So yeah, that's basically the reason why so many mistakes in this video, bro. Now let's talk about dialects. I'm not going to be talking about dialects this much in this video, because I'm talking about dialects in another video that's more detailed and stuff. I did already mention what is a dialect. And the dialect is just another form of speaking that language. Different places have their own dialects. Sure, they speak the same language, but they also, sure, different places speak the same language, but they speak it in their own way. Yes, like example, yeah, I don't know any examples actually. Like examples of dialects are Bruneian Malay, Singaporean Malay. There's also Swiss German, Luxembourgish. Well, that's not really a dialect, that's a language. But yes, Swiss German, Belgian German, and German German. Basically the main language of Germany. So yeah, maybe that's all for today's video, and belated happy birthday to me. My birthday was 3 days ago. I'm 14 now, but I planned to make this video when I was 13 years old, back in January 2026, but I couldn't because school and stuff. But yeah, thanks for watching this video. I'll edit the mistakes out of this video. So yeah, see ya, have a good evening, have a good night, and yeah, that's all. Bye bye.